One big kid is Max Gawn. We'll find out how he's going, the Melbourne captain, and he joins us from his home via Skype. Max, as we welcome you in, how are you settling into life in isolation?
Thanks, Hutch. It's an interesting time. I've never been at home for this long. We also did sort of a bit of an isolating process with the club going into round one as well. So we've sort of been homebound for about 3 weeks now. So it's starting to wear thin, but I know there's a long way to go. So trying to mix up. I mean, as you see there, lots of AFL players trying all different sorts of things. And I suppose that's our role in the community now, is to show that you can have fun at home, and we're self-isolating just like everybody else. And part of some of the things we can do as role models now.
Were you disappointed that you had to fly over to Perth, given the dangers that we already knew about? And obviously you were you were on the last day.
No, I wasn't. We got asked sort of during the week if that was okay from a player's point of view. And I mean, we all are millennial, wanting to play AFL as much as we can, young men. So we all put our hand up and say we want to play, and that's what we did. Obviously, news got to us about 3 hours before the game that we weren't going to play round two, and there was a couple of other little things that happened throughout the trip. I mean, the flight over was an incredibly late flight to the game, but they're all things that I think we took on our stride. We just ran into a really good side, to be honest, and West Coast got the better of us.
And you talk about being role models, Max. Do you think there were times last week when you didn't sell yourselves or appear to the public, a public that's hurting, as well as you probably should have presented yourselves?
From a whole player point of view?
Yeah, and I'm talking about the pay dispute.
Yeah. Well, I mean, there's only one story really going on in the AFL world at the moment for that week, and it was players and how much of a pay cut we're going to take. So no matter what, someone was going to potentially slip up on a sentence or be able to say the wrong thing. And I feel like that may or may not have happened with the players that spoke up, but it's a very, very small issue compared to what's actually going on. And I'm not sure if what we're saying in terms of our pay dispute was really a role modelling thing in the community. I feel like it was just more of a bit of a beat up between AFL media and the players.
Oh, we'll have to beg to differ on that one, Max, but I think Kane Corns has got a question for you.
I think it is more than that, Max. I think there's been some backlash from the fans if you listen to Talkback Radio and look at the interaction there. Do you not sense that from the fans who are, as you said, doing it really tough at the moment?
When you do go into isolation, you try and shut yourself away from footy, so that's probably why I don't sense it, Kane. But no one's come and knocked on my door yet and told me that I should have taken a pay cut, and they wouldn't be allowed in because it's 1.5 metre rule inside my house. But no, look, it's water off a duck's back for me. I understand that the whole community are taking pay cuts, and my old man could potentially be out of work. My mum is a small hospitality business down in Gippsland, and she's really struggling. I've had to close my doors to my hospitality business that I have. It affects everybody, and I understand that. And for what the players have managed to do, I mean, we have taken a hefty pay cut. I know we aren't doing much, but we still have a running program that we're doing every second day. We've still got a weights program. We're still able to be drug tested. We still got to get our skin folds back day one. So there's still a lot of things that we have to do. But I'm happy to take the pay cut because there's a lot more people that are in trouble than us.
You mentioned your mum and dad there. How are they going with those two circumstances you mentioned, and how do you try and help them when you can't necessarily see them face to face?
Yeah, it's a difficult time. I had a big phone call with my old man today, and things aren't looking great at his work. And I also speak to mum all the time, and hospitality is an industry that is getting absolutely smacked at the moment, and she's fronting up still to do a takeaway coffee service out the window at a country Gippsland cafe. So it's brave, but it's the times we're in now. So I'm still trying to get out to my local cafe to get a coffee, even though that seems relatively hard at the moment. But You got to sort of online's going to come popular. If you can potentially order Uber Eats or takeaway, I know Hutchie, you don't cook much, so maybe you could order some Uber Eats and get that in. But we got to support that local industry.
Absolutely.
Life member.
Well
Yep.
said. More on your industry, Max, and the job cuts within football departments. In your eyes, what's essential at a footy club? Next year it's going to look completely different. Who are the essential coaches that you need?
Yeah, I haven't thought about that at the moment, Kane. I think every role there is essential. That's why they have roles. We don't make roles up for the sake of it.
But they're not going to be there. So the soft cap's going to go from 9 million to 6. So not to be flippant about it, there are going to be job cuts. Which ones do you think, need to have a voice and stay?
Oh, well, look, you'd obviously go from the top down. You'd have a head coach, a head fitness guy, and then you'd try and trim around that. But to name specific roles, I know the ruck role should stay, and hopefully it does stay. But apart from that, I can't answer that question. I understand we'll trim it down, and clubs already have, but to who that will be and what role that will be, that's obviously someone's decision other than mine.
Well, Max, we'll let you get back to whatever you're doing and keeping yourself amused on a Monday night. We do appreciate you taking a moment to chat to us.
Thanks heaps, guys.